We are still in the tutorial of chapter 8 of object-oriented programming. So we solved question 1, now we move to question 2. Question 2 is telling us modify the program in problem 1 and in a way that the entered number should be floating point, should be a floating point actually, not floating point, a floating point. Okay, I'm sorry. Floating point number, or it could be floating point, no problem. Your program should calculate two sums. That means we will need to enter a floating point number, and then we need to calculate two sums. One for the integral part digits. When we have a floating point number, we assume that we have two parts of the number. The first one is the integral part. That's before the decimal point. And then the next part is the fraction after the decimal point. So we need to calculate or create two sums, one for the fractional part, and one for the integral part. Let's try to do it directly. I'll not write any comment. Earlier I wrote about what it is. So main. We create the main method, and then we need to get a floating point number. Okay. And I will also receive it as a string, what I did earlier. So num equals to input enter a real number. Floating point number is a real number, so enter a real number. So we expect to have decimal points here. Now, once I receive this one, I will have two sums. One for the integral part and the other one for the fractional part, okay, the fraction. So I initialize them both to zeros. We apply the same. If you like, you can use the exception handling, so if there is any exception raised. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I need to have two parts of this number, before the decimal point and after the decimal point. How can I do it? This is a string. How about if I convert it to a list, and in this list I split it into two parts while stripping the decimal point or the dot available in the number? I can do that. I can do it before the try because this one has no problem with exception. I mean, it has no exact exception case. At the moment, this one is not likely to raise any exception. It's just a normal process like assignment. So what I'm going to do is I'll just create this list. So what I will call it, maybe you can call n equals to num dot split. So I'm splitting this number based on what? The character dot or the period available, or the decimal point available in the floating point number or the real number. Okay, that's good. So now we have two parts. Well, for sure, if we are splitting a number based on its decimal point, we will have the integral part here, the first index in this list, index 0, and the second part will be index 1. All right, so what are we going to do? We will have two lists or two strings in this case. I can create str1 equals to, or I can do it directly actually. I can do it directly. I don't have to create a string separately. I don't have to do that. It's not necessary. Okay, then what we can do is we need to sum up. So what we did earlier, we need to iterate for I in, or character maybe, in. Now where is my string? N 0. That's my first string. You may tell me, what's N0? The first element in this list. This is a list. So what you are splitting here is a number into two parts. Why? Because we have an integral part before the decimal point, and then fractional part after the decimal point, and this will be a list of two elements. First element, N0, second element, N1. So N1 will be dedicated to the fractional, N0 will be dedicated to the integral part. So this is a string, which is an element of a list that's possible. Okay, so we need to iterate over it. So we need to sum up augmented sum is okay, and we need to convert the character to an integer before summing it up. We will do the same too. You can use character or any other. If you are not interested in using ca, for example, for character here, you can use any other variable. And one, we apply the same to the other string. We have another string for the fractional, and we sum up the second accumulative sum. We apply the augmented summation, and we sum up all the digits. These are the digits that we have. Now we can display print. I'll just write the simple printing statement. The integral part is the sum. Actually, the sum of is, and provide S1 as print another statement, print, okay, the sum of the fractional part is, provide or insert S2 in this as an argument. Well, what kind of exception? Earlier we used it, except we can use the type error, the value error. Okay, value error. Okay, here we have as exception, and we print it directly. No, same alignment. Print E. I don't have to type that one, the type error. You can add it by yourself. Let's just run so that I save time for this video. So we have 2 instead of 1, and we strip the period and split the string into 2 parts based on this character. This is possible in strings. Then we can sum up for 2 strings available in a list. So let's just save and run. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Point, let's say 4, 5. Okay. Well, 1, 2, 3. 1 plus 2, 3 plus 3, 6. 4 plus 5, that's 9. And this is exactly what we are looking for. And you see how convenient it is using string method, or the type of string methods and applications. By split, we can split a string based on a separating character to list items, depending on, we may have multiple, and we will see in other applications. This is actually it for this video. I hope you guys will benefit and enjoy it. Until the next video or the next question, have a good time. Goodbye.